Party, really saw that, wait a minute. Last time I saw you guys did initiate to fly the democratic kites. Or nothing really useful. And then now you have something which can quantify the support of the universal suffrage and show the central government about what Hong Kong people really want. And what Albert Ho is saying, he said that the plan is extremely risky. Come on, you're not really doing any good to the thing. And what else? I mean, next year you're telling me to fly the kites of democracy again, and nothing else, or they use and I remember now the other day the Democratic Party was organizing the Democratic Bicycle event. You also take the bike. I mean, though I think Matt, these are the really least risky events. And I think this really made the younger people very disappointed. And there have been lots of analysis saying that this group of people might turn to LSD, and we'll wait to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible, because quite a few members of LSD used to be actually members of the Democratic Party many years ago, actually.
Oh, I mean, 2 of the 3 LSD legislators, Andrew To and Chen Wei-yip, they were from Democratic Party.
Yep, well, there we go. There we go. And so it looks like LSD might be having a few more members. From the Democratic Party is very possible. And it's interesting also, in some ways, LSD and the Civic Party, obviously now they've joined forces, and they've got to get serious about organising, in terms of mobilising for this referendum. I mean, in some ways, can the LSD and the Civic Party work together? They are unlikely bedfellows in some ways, aren't they? But
they're really strange bedfellows this time.
Long hair. In bed with Audrey Yu,
yes, or Alan Leung, maybe.
But quite an unlikely thought.
In this case, I think I would borrow a quote from Mao Zedong. Mao did say that you would somehow unite your second enemy to fight against your enemy number one.
Yeah.
So in this case, the enemy number one is Donald Tsang and the political reform, and you have. That's why sometimes you have to unite with with your second enemy.
Yeah. And it's also interesting the position of Emily Lau as well, because obviously she's quite a new member of the Democratic Party, but she's known for being quite a bit more radical and a bit more outspoken. But it seems like she's towing the line of the Democratic Party leaders, and that's kind of interesting for me in some ways.
I think her fans would be quite disappointed, because people were always expecting her to change the thinking of Democratic Party when she was saying that, we are going to join Democratic Party. But now turns out she's getting softened. And, well, I'm just feeling sorry for her and her fans. Yeah,
that is disappointing. I mean, it happens as people get older, but you can see why, in some ways, the pressure for her to vote, to get to toe the line with the Democratic Party elders is quite strong, and unfortunately sometimes in politics, that happens, but it seems quite blatant that she's having to do that when naturally I don't think she would at all, actually.
Emily Lau's her own explanation was that she had done her own internal poll, and according to her own constituents, lots of them dislike the idea because, I voted for you to go into the legislature, so why would you give up your own seat? Or perhaps, as you know, she came at the last time in the, she was the last one.
So Matt, what do you think about it? Do you think they are the dictator within the Democratic Party?
Well, there we go. Yeah. When I look at that result, 81% of members voted.
With the proxy form,
Yeah.
Where's the proxy form come from? It's not actually a real person inside. Yeah, you can collect the proxy form outside with the signature, and then one of the.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the Democratic Party, it looks like, when I look at that figure, it looks to me like the members have basically done what the leadership in the Democratic Party have told them to do, basically. Yeah. And that result could easily have been the other way. If the just 2 or 3 or 4 people at the top of the Democratic Party had decided, okay, we're going to vote for we personally think, we like this idea about the referendum, but let's have a vote, within our party for it. I can bet you the figure would be the total opposite. And it's amazing that in politics, that so many members of a political group, they tend to follow what the leaders tell them, I think. I mean, you're kind of quite interested in Simon in leadership and stuff, and the idea that how people behave and stuff. And would you agree with what I said, that if the Democratic Party had told their members to vote the other way, they would, the result would be the total opposite? Can you see that?
Of course.
Do you think each member of the Democratic Party has sat down and thought, this is what I think, I'm not going to listen to... Because they were given a totally free vote. They could have voted either way, couldn't they, actually?
In the meantime, you do have two seniors, really the veteran leaders of the Democratic Party are sitting on both sides of the opinion spectrum. You do have Martin Lee, supporting the 5 constituencies referendum, and Sito Wah on the other. But of course, you have more members, more so-called leaders, executives, going against it. But at least you have Martin Lee, the so-called, some people call him the father of Hong Kong democracy.
But even he's supporting it in a very mild way. He's kind of supporting it because he's sort of saying, oh, okay, we better support it because the Civic Party and LSD are doing it, and we should try and that's kind of his line, to unite. But he's kind of doing it sort of in a reluctant way. That's the sort of sense that I've got, the way his kind of view on it.
But he also mentioned that it's a really one of the only viable options at the moment in terms of getting the public support. I think he somehow wholeheartedly supported the idea, because right now even though the 20% of the people, only 20% of his party's members supported the idea, but even though the DP rejects the resignations campaign, but he mentioned very clearly that he would support and campaign for all 5 candidates. And even Anson Chan said that he would come out and support all 5 candidates. And this is quite unthinkable before. Can you think about Anson Chan campaigning for Yuk Man together, side by side? So you're going to see that.
Anson Chan is the new Emily Lau.
Yes. Perhaps. She's taking this.
The politics is really funny. It's like Regina Yip was on the show on RTHK with Raymond.
Yes, that's right.
Yes. But before that, you never could think of that. They talk together like friends.
So one day is super long in politics, but particularly correct in Hong Kong. You can see that. You can see so much different within a day.
But I mean, it is interesting with Anson Chan that she's talking in quite a radical. Well, the media are kind of portraying her as quite a radical, but in some ways she's not at all. And let's never forget. She was very much part of the establishment.
Which is really